Alrighty folks, welcome to the next video where we carry on with this Plague Marine, and we're going to do the dirty, grungy looking metal around the model, his gun, his chainmail and so on. Feel free, don't forget to hit the subscribe button to watch more of these videos from my channel, and right next to it hit the bell button if you don't want to miss an upload from me. And at the end of the video there's plenty of links for you to check out. But let's get cracking on straight into the Plague Marine dirty metal, shall we? Come on. So we're back with this Plague Marine here, and we're going to paint the gun, the chainmail, and some of the various other bits of metal that he's got lying around. And we're going to use lead belcher for this, so give the paint a good shake as always. It's going to be a bit of a, you can see that I'm going to put the paint directly in front of the camera. I'm actually right over my wet palette, so I'm not using the table as a palette. I'm using my wet palette as a table. Yeah. So I'm going to thin the paint. The wet palette is nice and clean and nice and fresh, so I don't, you might not need to, might not see me thin the paint as much as I have been doing recently. And then we're just going to very gently, nice and smoothly, just paint on all of the metal details. Doing the chainmail around here, being very careful not to touch anything that we've already painted, and doing the gun, and we're just going around painting all the metal. It's as simple as that. We're just base coating. I like doing these little power conduit things here, just picking them out away from the green. And you know, I'm only putting a tiny little bit amount of paint on my wet palette at a time, so you saw me grab some more, and just making sure we're nice and clean. And I'm doing this here on the front of this particular one. I'm just imagining that the grill that he breathes through, his rebreather, has mutated, and some of these finer details at the top here, just breaking up the green a little bit, you know, next to the brass, and just going around, and again around these spiky bits around here. Normally there's a vent here, so I'm just painting the spiky bits as if they've mutated. The vents have mutated into spiky bits, really. Just going around, just breaking it all up, giving your eye something to look at. And then these vents, of course, around the back here, they're definitely still vents, so they'll get painted metal. Going around, picking out all the bits and pieces nice and easily, and using very little paint on your brush, of course, and making sure it's all nice and smooth. And these bits at the back, I like breaking these up as well. Some people don't bother, but I do. Again, most of the time it's all a case of what you want to paint. Paint silver, I'm doing the back of the backpack there. Just breaking it up. It's up to you what you want to paint silver and what you don't want to paint silver. But on the whole, there we go. I've got all the silver base coated. So now all we need to do is leave that to dry. It won't take too long because you haven't used much paint. But leave it to dry, and then we can move on to the next step, which will be washing. And we're just going to use Nuln Oil, much like we would with any other metal, almost any other metal. We're just going to wash it with some Nuln Oil. Don't forget to give it a shake, otherwise it will come out glossy. Something you might not know about Shade is the matte finish. Apparently, this is from my local GW manager, is that a wash is actually glossy, and it has a matting agent in it. So if you don't shake it, it'll come out glossy, apparently. Alright, so we're just going to go around and just washing all of the metal black, and it's as nice and simple as that. Just add the shade there, and we leave it to dry. And I'm coming in with my starter brush now, and I'm going to use Necron Compound. So what we do now that the wash is dry, we're just going to highlight, and we're going to simply use dry brushing. I told you this model is going to be done very, very simply. I'm not going to mess around trying to do anything that takes a huge amount of care and attention. I mean, you do need to take care but you could check out the dry brushing video on the channel. But we're just going to dry brush the metal nice and lightly, and we're using a regular brush that will trash your brush. This will, if you do it regularly, but I just like the control that this little brush gives us, and we're just going to highlight the metal like so. It's nice and simple as that. And then we can well, we don't really need to leave paint to dry, so we could pretty much come straight in. I'm actually using the dirty brush as well. I wouldn't advise doing this very regularly because you can contaminate your wash with metal paints, but I'm just coming in with the Agrax Earthshade, and this is going to give us a really nice dirty look. And here's an interesting thing. Look what I'm doing with my fingers. I'm using the forefinger of my left hand to support the little finger of my right hand. And all that does is basically, what's going to happen is if I ever move either hand, my other hand is going to move with it. So my hands are not acting independently of each other. My fingers are controlling the brush, but my hands as a whole are moving with each other because both hands are touching each other. It's a nice little trick. You might find yourself touching your hands together in all sorts of weird angles. And so here we go. This is the finished metal, nice and grungy kind of looking metal. We can weather it up later so that it looks even rustier and dirtier. But for now, and this step, this is what we've got. And so we'll close this video down. Yeah, there he is. I quite like that kind of grungy looking metal on him. It's you know, like I said, we can weather it up a bit more later, give it a bit more rusty look and a bit more grimy, dirty, horrible look for this Plague Marine in a later video where we'll weather the whole model up. Coming up next for this guy will be the kind of mutated fleshy bits, his tentacles. I might do both of them together. There'll be, yeah, I think he's got some tentacles on there that's going to be kind of a pinky, kind of rotten, inflamed look, and his tentacles I think I'll do in a little bit more of an infected flesh kind of look. They're horrible bits and pieces, but you could check out those videos in the future, so keep an eye out on that, which is why I will say don't forget to press the subscribe button so you won't miss an upload, and then feel free to, next to it, press the bell button, and that way you will never miss an upload because you get notified for it. Down below are all my links. You'll find all my social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and so on. Feel free to have a look at those, and if you want to help support this channel for me to paint more models that I might not necessarily buy for myself, and you can help support it and perhaps even have a say in what gets painted in the future, feel free please to check out my Patreon from as little as $1 a month. But that's not an obligation. Feel free to do so at your leisure, and I will say thank you for watching this one. I'll catch you in the next one. Ta-ra.